Hello, everyone. My name is Madeline Cook, and today we are here with the Mental Health Ambassadors Program, which is a student peer-to-peer mental health promotion program that focuses on mental health awareness, resiliency, and self-care. Our Mental Health Ambassadors group was first formed by Dr. Lanzi, an Honors College student Juhi Agrawal, in partnership with the School of Public Health, the Honors College, and Student Counseling Services. Again, my name is Madeline Cook, and I'm a junior majoring in biomedical engineering with minors in chemistry and neuroengineering. And I joined the Mental Health Ambassadors Program because I believe it's important to learn about mental health for ourselves and to share this knowledge with others in order to start breaking down the stigma towards mental health.
Hi everyone, my name is Destiny Cravens. I'm a rising junior majoring in psychology with a minor in social psychology. And the reason I joined MHA was because I have personal experience having someone I love be diagnosed with a mental illness. So mental health promotion has always been an extreme passion of mine.
Today we have guest speaker Salaam Green, who is a UAB artist in residence and founder of Literary Healing Arts, specializing in creative writing and poetry. For this event, she'll be presenting on healing and justice. Please welcome Salaam.
Hi, y'all. Thank you so much for everyone being here, and thank you for the opportunity to do this with the Mental Health Ambassadors again. Like we were saying, we are going to be doing healing and justice around poetry and creative writing today, mainly poetry. So I'm very excited that each one of you are here. Some of the things that I'm going to be doing today are going to require for me to share my screen. And so I hope that's okay with everyone as we're going through the day. The first thing that we're going to talk about, and we know we have about 30 minutes, so I want to make sure that we stay on time, is justice. And one of justice poems that I have that I'm very excited about is from Langston Hughes. So today we're going to look at 3 different poems. And I promise you, you won't have to write a poem unless you really, really want to write a poem. And I know you all do, because that's why you're here, so you can write a poem. But we're going to talk about ways that perhaps once we go into our own private environments and in our own personal spaces, how we can use poetry and writing as part of our journaling practice or just part of our daily practice as we're just walking around the world and how we see the world. But this is a justice poem by Langston Hughes. That justice is a blind goddess, is a thing to which we black are wise. Her bandage hides 2 festering sores that once perhaps were her eyes. How are you healing today? How are you healing? When we think about how we're feeling, we usually do the basic I'm okay, or I'm having kind of a rough day, or things are going good, or my favorite, fine. How are you feeling? I'm fine. But one of the things I like to ask is, how are you healing? We don't have to talk about the state of the world because we're all living in the state of the world. And there are different ways in which we might find healing. And if we're not able to think about what those ways are, here are some suggestions. For many people, could be exercise or walking or eating 3 meals a day or waking up at a certain time. So I want to ask a few people to just get a handle on how we're healing. And if you are not wanting to answer, I would say, write this down. How are you healing in 1 sentence? So Madeline, how are you healing today?
Today I'm healing through yoga and meditation. It's something I wake up every morning and do, and it just kind of helps me get my day started and helps me feel calm and resolute about everything.
Awesome. So meditation and yoga. So some people may say, I don't know how to meditate, or I don't do yoga and those kinds of things. And we all know that we can Google, or we can kind of just get out there on our own and just do different kind of exercises. But I love the idea of Madeline having some structured time to herself. How are you healing, Destiny?
I'm healing in more of an indirect way. I've been putting up a lot of boundaries just to protect myself and my mental health and my well-being, such as like not going on social media as much as I used to, and just putting up a guard between me and like the world events so that I'm not negatively impacted by them.
Wow. So Destiny is doing something that might be a little obscure to people like myself, called boundaries, right? Setting up personal boundaries to help support her healing and her emotional well-being. And part of setting up boundaries, like she mentioned, was she's setting a boundary around social media and what types of news and media she allows to come into her space at this particular time. So we have a dichotomy. We have some internal ways in which we can heal. Then we have some external ways in which we can heal. For me, how I'm healing right now, quite frankly, I'm not doing my main routine. And I noticed that I'm not going through a lot of different healing practices, but I am making sure that I do kind of eat 3 meals a day, and I'm walking my dog, and I'm also sometimes just vegging out on TV or something of that sort. So those are some of the ways that I'm healing. So as you think about giving yourself justice, that justice, a blind goddess, is a thing to which we black are wise. Her bandage highs to festering sores that once perhaps were eyes. Think about the justice that you give to yourself through healing. As you're thinking about the justice that you want to give to the world, how are you giving that same justice to yourself? So thank you guys for sharing with me, and everyone else. How are you healing? You can write it down, but if there's anyone who has a burning desire and wants to say how they're healing, I will say, go ahead real quick. You can, if not, then we'll move on to one of our first exercises. One of our first exercises is when you think about poetry and we think about writing, or maybe you never think about poetry or think about writing, which is totally fine. Most people do not. But when we think about the healing and the therapeutic health and wellness and emotional well-being that can be brought out and sought out through writing, a lot of times that can be something as simple as a writing prompt, or as simple as someone giving you kind of a bunch of words and asking you what those words mean to you. And these are some words, and this is a quick writing prompt that I would say, if you have nothing else to do or you have very little time, that you can do to kind of give yourself access to what's happening on the inside and to give yourself words to how you're feeling. And it's I feel, I wish, I think, I need, I hope, I want. I feel, I wish, I think, I need, I hope, I want. And I did a quick poem off of this, and I hope you all are writing down these prompts that you can kind of do later in your journaling. But the poem that I wrote from I feel, I wish, I think, I need, I hope, I want was, I feel there are pockets of hope waiting to be opened. I wish those pockets would unfold quickly. I think waiting to see the purpose and pain leaves holes in those pockets. I hope those holes will be filled with hope. I want everyone to gather around the tattered pockets. So think about, as you're doing anything, and I know we all aren't poets. I might not even be one. Just play one on Zoom, right? So we have to think about just allowing yourself to pour those thoughts and words out on paper. And this is one prompt that you can do as well. So you can take a screenshot of that, or think about how you would do that later as well. I feel, I wish, I think, I need, I hope, I want. So the first poem that we're going to look at today, and we're going to see how many we get through, is we're going to look at a poem that we're probably all very, very familiar with. And as we kind of look at this poem, we're going to think about how this poem can help us heal. And it's Maya Angelou's poem, And Still I Rise. I'm going to read the poem, and then I'm going to ask a question. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Do you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. And to a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. What do you think you need to leave behind to rise? In that poem, we saw Mother Maya Angelou give us a credence to our future. That credence was, we shall rise, as a result of her rising or as a result of the poet rising. So what do you think you need to leave behind to rise? That's a writing prompt that you can work on early in the morning as you're rising or late at night as you are beginning to befall to your rest. Do you need to leave behind nights of terror and fear? Do you need to leap wide and well and swell into the thing that you need to rise into? But what do you think you need to leave behind to rise? Who would like to answer that question? Anyone, maybe one person. What do you think you need to leave behind to rise? And it can be one of them. Destiny, what do you need to leave behind to rise? And the only reason I'm calling them mental health ambassadors is because so this is what we do.
For me, I think I need to leave behind expectations, not only other people's expectations for me, but also my expectations for myself, and just to be more adaptive to the world.
Got you. Thank you. I forgot you guys couldn't unmute so you need to leave behind the mute button to rise, right? That's what you need to do. You need to don't silence me so I can rise. No, it's okay. You can write what you need to leave behind to rise. But Destiny, you need to leave behind false expectations or the expectations of the world, right? In order to rise. And at this time, there are so many things we might be forced to leave behind in order to rise. Attachment and fear. Yes, I rise. I rise. Thank you, guys. Let's look at another poem.
The past.
So the next poem we're going to look at is a Ross Gay poem, and it comes from Police Brutality of Eric Garner. I can't remember how long ago it was. Everything seems like yesterday and like 1819 all at once, kind of all piled together. But he was, of course, infamous or unfortunate for not being able to breathe as a result of the police brutality. And this is a poem by by Ross Gay about Eric Garner. Is that Eric Garner worked for some time for the Parks and Rec Horticulture Department, which means perhaps that with his very large hands, perhaps in all likelihood, he put gently into the earth some plants, which most likely some of them in all likelihood continue to grow, continue to do what such plants do, like house and feed small and necessary creatures, like being pleasant to touch and smell, like converting sunlight into food, like making it easier for us to breathe, like making it easier for us to breathe. This is a beautiful poem, a beautiful, tragic poem, because Eric Garner not only met his demise through not being able to breathe as a result of violence and police brutality and racism and all of that that goes along with that, but at some point he worked for the horticulture department where he put plants in the ground. And those plants that he put in the ground are today still probably thriving somewhere. And as a result of the earth, they are making sure that other creatures begin to thrive. And as a result of that, we're able to touch and smell, and bees are able to touch and smell. And then the sunlight is being able to be converted into food, which now is all making it easier for all of us to breathe. How can what you do on a daily basis bring hope? What is the sunlight that you can bring to others so that we can all breathe? I know that we're all forcing outside of ourselves to think about what kind of change can we do? It has to be big, it has to be grand. I have to be there where the crowds are or where all of the action is taking place. But most definitely, we know that the biggest change that happens is the change that happens inside of us and in the worlds that we have been gifted to make those changes. Our hobbies are the sunlight that brings air and food to the lives of so many people. The work that we do, the people we encounter every single day, is the very breath of life that we have been given to help others breathe as well. It's the oxygen that we all intake. When you have 5 or 6 people around you, we're all intaking the same oxygen and we're taking in the same air and we are breathing together for a reason. So what is your hope? What kind of hope can you bring into the world? How are you helping others breathe? In one short sentence, anyone, maybe 1 or 2 people.
I'm a breath and meditation expert and teach breathing workshops.
Literally. Breathing workshops, yes, and meditation. And how do you see that as the social justice that the world needs, not just at this time, but will need as long as you are able to do that work? You've been breathing into that space so that others can breathe out. I love that. Anyone else? And if it's in the chat, I'll check. Yes, iron sharpens iron. Absolutely. So I want us to think about just our spaces. Okay, if there's no one else about that one, that was Eric Garner's poem by Ross Gay. And the last one that we have to do to keep us all on time, I think this one is it. This is I think this is a Langston Hughes poem as well. I too sing America, so we may be very familiar with this one. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. I too am America. I too am America. I don't know what the American dream holds for anyone. Langston Hughes' poem, I too am America, could be taught for years. And I remember teaching that to my 3rd and 4th graders. And I asked them, how are they America? As Black boys and Black girls in urban Birmingham, how do they see them as America? Many of them had some very funny thoughts, and many of them had thoughts about how they didn't believe in the American dream and how America doesn't see them and the invisibility of who they are. But I want us to think about, how too am I America? I told my friend, who happens to be a white woman who's maybe in her 70s, that I am not very patriotic, and I've never thought about being patriotic, and I never thought about it at all. And she began to give me a lecture about the flag and about Star Spangled Banner and about how this is just, and I began to think, first of all, don't lecture me, because I don't have time for it. But second of all, it doesn't resonate with me the way that it may resonate with others. But the justice that we give through this poem and thinking about who we are, eating in the kitchen with other people. How American is that? American is what? Apple pie, right? It's dignity. That's not just American, that's human. So if someone can close us out, how too are you America? Or what does the American dream mean to you or not mean to you? This is a very, that I know that's kind of a big thing, but what does the American dream mean to you or not mean to you? And Madeline or Destiny, feel free to chime in since we practiced this together, but what does the American dream mean to you or not mean to you? And after reading that poem, do you see any type of dichotomies in your own life?
I'd say legacy.
Legacy.
And that can be on both sides of your question.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? It means true freedom in every aspect. That comes from Christina. Thank you. Yes.
Excuse me, I just wanted to say if you could share the poem with me after, because I miss it, but I would love to hear it.
Okay, yes. We can send out all the poems. I hope to be a bridge to bring others together. Beautiful, beautiful. I too
Perhaps
am
it's
America. Go ahead.
Perhaps that collective consciousness, and to reinforce that we are the same in nature and in spirit, and to recognize that we have that dream together.
Yes, that's beautiful. Kimberly, the truth is the American dream is not accessible to everyone. That must be changed. Yes. Or the idea of the American dream, perhaps. Absolutely. Yes, and I want us to dig deep, and I want us to breathe in the air as we think about these different poems. And I too am America, and how am I fulfilling hope and breathing sunlight into the lives of others, and how am I rising above from those things? It should move, it should, someone says the American dream should move to include inclusivity of all dreams. See, we're gonna have to go offline with that one, because absolutely. How, who do we think we are to tell someone what they should dream? The American dream itself is what? Something that somebody told us to dream about, right? Or something that was pirated for other people to dream about. But it may not have anything to do with my own dreams. I too am America. I too sing. I'm going to end with a poem because we only have 30 minutes. I'm going to end with a poem. I'll end with the poem that I started with and say goodbye. That justice is a blind goddess, is a thing to which we Black are wise. Her bandage hides two festering sores that once perhaps were eyes. that once perhaps were eyes. Go breathe light, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful.